Greetings everybody and welcome to Madrid Ball. Hope you all are fine, my fellow Madridistas. Today we are going to do the post-match analysis of Real Madrid vs Shakhtar Donetsk, and we will dissect how Real Madrid managed to lose their first match in the Uefa Champions League, playing a team who had their 10 first-team players unavailable. So let's get started. Real Madrid went into the match with a massively disappointing result against Cadiz, and what we were expecting from our players was to see them play with more passion, more desire, play as if they had something to prove and had something stuck in between their teeth, and especially keeping an eye on the El Clasico. We really wanted to go into the match with some momentum and with a bit of positivity, but if we missed Casemiro in the match against Cadiz, it was Ramos whose absence was felt dearly in the match against Shakhtar. Firstly, coming to the lineup, we had COURTOIS at goal, with Militao, as was expected, came in for Ramos, and in the right-back position, Zidane chose to go with Mendy, who frankly didn't really look very comfortable playing on the right. Marcelo retained his left-back position and was the captain for the night, and in the midfield we saw Casemiro, Modric and Valverde, and in attack, as we had expected in the match preview, we saw Jovic playing alongside two wingers, Asensio and Rodrigo. We will talk a bit about our attack later, but firstly talking about the first half, it was a defensive disaster class. The defense just did not know how to cope up with the counter-attacking play from Shakhtar, and the signs were there very early in the match. The defense was caught out early in the 14th minute. It was a Shakhtar captain Marlos who had made a good run, and as you can see in this picture, there was so much time and space for Marlos. He was one-on-one with COURTOIS, but COURTOIS positioned himself well to deal with the scuff shot of Marlos, and that was not the only time that we required COURTOIS. He made a few very important saves throughout the match to keep Real Madrid in the game. The first goal that Real Madrid conceded, they defended like schoolboys in the build-up to the goal. The Shakhtar players had made a great run. Militao was unable to stop him, Varane was unable to stop him, Marcelo dived in anticipation of a shot, but Shakhtar player made a good touch taking out all the defenders, setting up his teammate Tete, and the Brazilian had no problem putting the ball beyond COURTOIS. Then we had an own goal from Rafael Varane. It was a good bit of build-up play from Shakhtar players. A shot was taken from distance. It was a powerfully hit shot. COURTOIS could not get it away from the danger zone, and Varane, in a desperate attempt to clear the ball, gets a touch, which takes the ball into the back of the net, and Real Madrid had conceded 2 goals in 4 minutes in the first half. And you would think things would calm down a bit and Shakhtar would take their foot off the gas. But that did not happen. It was one counter-attack after another, and they were not done with 2 goals. They went one step further to get the 3rd goal in the 42nd minute, and at this point, it was just shambolic from Real Madrid. The Real Madrid players just didn't look like they had any idea about what to do on the pitch. They looked so vulnerable to the counter-attacks, and it was always going to be a very difficult task to make a comeback after conceding 3 goals in the first half. The attack created literally nothing in the first half. Rodrigo and Asensio didn't give much on the wings, and the only plan Real Madrid had in the first half was to put in those crosses inside the box and hope Jovic gets to one of them, and he did get to one of them in the 30th minute when Real were just 1 goal down. Marcelo had put in a cross, spotting the run of Jovic. He got away from the defenders, but Jovic could not get his head to the cross. The ball hit his shoulder, and the keeper was easily able to deal with that in the end. But this plan was not successful, as we saw. Jovic was always surrounded by a number of Shakhtar players inside the box, who were the first ones to get their head to the ball. As far as Jovic goes, it was a great chance for him to make a statement. He got the chance, but you have to finish those chances off if you want to stay at Real. Had he scored there, the entire complexion of the game could have changed with that early equalizer. Just didn't justify his inclusion in the squad with that performance, Luka Jovic. In the second half, we saw those changes of desperation. Benzema came on, and then in the 53rd minute, we needed an outrageous goal from Luka Modric to breathe some life into the game for Real Madrid. The shot was taken far away from goal. It was a pile driver. The keeper stood no chance as the ball went into the top corner of the goal. Then Vinicius was brought on, who made an instant impact. Within seconds of him coming on, he pickpocketed the Shakhtar man, got the 2nd goal, and at this point, it was looking like a comeback was very much on. We kept trying to get the goal. We were playing out with more intensity in the second half. Our passing had more purpose. It has to be said that Shakhtar didn't kneel down to pressure. They were also creating their own chances, and COURTOIS was called into action far more often than we would have liked. The final few minutes were set up brilliantly. Real Madrid chasing an equalizer, Shakhtar looking to get another goal to put the game to bed, and we almost had a goal in the dying minutes of the game. The chance came of a clever corner from Toni Kroos. Valverde hit a powerful shot towards goal, and it looked like we had scored the equalizer. But the goal was checked, and after an on-field review, it was ruled out. Vinicius was found to be obstructing the vision of the Shakhtar goalkeeper, so it was a disappointing end to an entertaining second half. It becomes difficult to keep your emotions in check these days with the VAR in place. 1 minute you are celebrating and happy about the goal being scored, and then a few seconds later you realize it's no longer a goal. Real Madrid ran out of time and Shakhtar inflicted a major blow to us. Now we are in a difficult place in the group. It will be a tricky game away from home in Germany against Mönchengladbach, and then we will have Inter. So we have to quickly learn from our mistakes, and we need to see the improvement on the pitch. Zidane can come out in the interviews and say it's his fault, and he takes the blame, and yes, it is his fault. He did not do enough apparently to handle Cadiz defeat well, and he should have got the players more focused and less complacent for the game against Shakhtar, but there is no denying the first half performance from Real was absolutely disgraceful. Every player on the pitch is to be blamed. Our defense was haywire all over the place, and we just didn't defend as a collective unit, which caused us to be cut open multiple times. Again, without Ramos, the backline was not well organized, and the lack of leadership was again felt in this match. Ramos is the heart of our defense, and as we can see in the stats, in the last 8 matches without Ramos in the UCL, we have only managed 1 win, and we have got 7 losses. That is a woeful record, and Real Madrid better get a player who has the flair and quality of Ramos very soon. It would be difficult to replace him, but a plan to have someone take over from Ramos has to be set in place sooner rather than later, because Ramos is not getting younger. We talk about our attack, which needs some fresh faces, but yesterday we were let down by our defense. Militao was not convincing enough, was caught out of position a few times, and without Carvajal, our options in the right back position are just not good enough. So hopefully the defense would tighten up once Ramos and Carvajal return to the starting lineup. The only positive that we can take away was the performance of Real Madrid in the second half. It was much better and just makes you think why Real do not possess the same ability to start matches with the same drive, the same movement, and the same rhythm. That is something that Real Madrid need to work upon. It's a mental construct. Zidane has to get his act together very quickly, as we have a big battle coming up in a few days. And what I would at least like from the players is to see them put up a fight for the badge and defend the honor of the club. Vinicius was another bright spot yesterday. He came on and made an instant impact, and he quite frankly was the only player yesterday who was taking on the defenders and creating panic near the Shakhtar penalty area. I like his desire to keep trying, irrespective of the outcome. We will be talking more about the El Clasico in the build-up video, but certainly there's a lot of work to be done. Have we had bad performances like these in the past 2 years? Absolutely yes. Unfortunately, we have had a few, but we have also bounced back from those awful performances. And at the moment, that is all that we can hope for. Expect our players to have a good look in the mirror, because we need the best version of these players to turn up in the next match, so that we can retain the bragging rights. And that is all we have here in the match review of Real Madrid versus Shakhtar Donetsk. If you like my video, do subscribe to my channel and hit the like button along with the bell icon. I will see you soon. Till then, take care. Glory to Madrid. And as always, Hala Madrid.
Yeah.